Wait, you're being serious?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm being serious.
Again, she's not improvising the plot of this film.
I did kind of think maybe it was a slip of the tongue, and I wasn't gonna correct you. No.
He skates back.
He's on the skateboard.
He's a talented dog.
Grab some popcorn and stick around. We've got some garbage to talk about.
Hi, Bob.
Hey, Zax.
Hi, Connor.
Hello.
Hey, Connor.
Hey, Bob.
So, I'm glad that you guys were able to join me today because this is a movie that has taken up a lot of my thoughts. And I think I just need to get it off of my chest because I would say this might be the Disney Channel original movie. Like, it hits every single trope, every single, everything that you allude to thinking, oh yeah, that's kind of D-comic. No, it's just this movie.
That's actually true.
So, I'm talking about the movie Frenemies, and
starring Bella Thorne and Zendaya.
Yeah, the movie really wants you to know that it stars Bella Thorne and Zendaya, even though they're the least important characters to the story. They're the framing device. Yeah. And they're not even good at being the framing device.
They're the big names that they got for Disney Channel movies. You know how you get Bruce Willis for 2 minutes in a movie and advertise that he's there? Disney Channel gets Zendaya and whoever else does the same thing.
It's like when Bryan Cranston was in the Godzilla American reboot or whatever, and he was in for the first 15 minutes of the movie and then he dies.
Right.
And we were all like, Mr. Breaking Bad. He was here for a minute.
You know, fun story.
He was on screen longer than Godzilla.
Fun story about that movie. When I saw that, I really thought his death was going to be fake.
Oh,
and I watched the whole movie waiting for him to come back.
The credits roll and you're like, oh, but the post-credits. Then Nick Fury comes to his dead body and recruits him into the Avengers.
Okay, I'm assembling a kaiju fighting group. Okay.
Yes. Okay, so Frenemies. This is a little different in that...
hang on. Sorry, I just want to pause. Connor, have you seen Frenemies?
No.
Okay. I just wanted to check if he'd seen the movie.
What?
I haven't.
You've seen the movie.
I don't know. He had a childhood. He wasn't born at 17.
But this movie's you guys, I think, were in college when this came out.
Well, were we really?
Yeah, Zendaya's only 3 years younger than us.
Yeah,
really?
I haven't seen Disney Channel original movies since my sister was in middle school and would watch Disney Channel. So Zac Efron is kind of around the time that I would have caught any Disney Channel original movie.
Gosh, I am old.
All right. So
sorry.
Okay, great. Glad that's... So Frenemies is a little different. It's not just the story of two friends forgetting each other or whatever. It's three mini stories in one. It's
instead of let me say, I don't know if we should wait. Maybe I should wait I'm not gonna wait. The way the movie is constructed is it's the movie's about an hour and a half, and it's 30 minutes per story, basically, more or less. Which means that each story has a beginning, middle, and end. And then at the end of that story, it's just concluded. There's no, coming back to it. Those characters basically don't matter ever again. And the way they structured it made me think that maybe they initially intended these to be interwoven stories, but it was so incoherent in the edit that they just put them together chronological for one storyline and then the next one.
Yeah, you can't do something like that for a Disney Channel original movie.
That's
high cinema.
Yeah, I don't have confirmation that they were trying to do one of those ensemble movies where they, what's that holiday movie that
Love Actually.
Yeah, Love Actually, where they have a bunch of different plot lines that all mirror each other in a particular way. This movie wants to do that, I think, but they didn't have the courage to actually just do it, or the editing to make it work. So they just did one story, and then the moral of the story is supposedly the same as the other two, but none of them have the same moral really at all.
So is it at least like supposed to be the same characters?
Yeah, so that is
same universe, not same characters.
So most of these characters all go to the same high school. They go to the same high school as Zendaya and Bella Thorne. And the framing device is that Bella Thorne and Zendaya, they run a fashion blog together. And so in the first story, they're like, well, before it even gets to the first story, it just starts with them.
The framing device.
They're just talking to each other. Man, we've been so good at being best friends. Remember how we had a falling out that one time? Well, we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But now let's remember this pair. I'm not even...
Bob, I want to have this exact conversation with you. Next time we meet up.
As incoherent as it sounds.
Bob, you've been my friend for a while, but do you remember that time we had a real big falling out? Let's discuss that in a bit.
Yeah,
Let's
we've got
table it
time
for later.
for that later.
Okay.
I have someone else's story to tell first, and someone else's story to tell afterwards.
But then it's like, there are all sorts of best friends. This story we're about to tell, this person's best friend wasn't even a person. So...
Now, so in case you're worried, no, he did not befriend a ghost. He didn't befriend an imaginary... No,
right, was it a dog? Dog, yeah.
It's the dog. I do want to also say that the framing device, if it was like they were writing a blog about their school, then it could kind of work as a framing device, because it's like, we got permission from Jake to tell his story, and here it is on our website.
Or if they even just made it like a vlog.
Or a vlog, but the framing device is, we're hearing two characters discussing something, but we're not seeing them on screen discussing it, it's just like voiceover. So I guess, like you said, these two are just apropos of nothing, having a conversation, telling no one a story?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, I was thinking it would be like, hey, here are some, situations, we're writing them up. But then you mentioned fashion blog, and I'm like, how? And I'm guessing the answer is not at all.
Not at all. Not at all. It's not related at all. And also, when usually when you have like a framing device, like somebody's telling the story of someone else, I always imagine it to be like either the narrator is telling me and we're supposed to be sitting across from them and they're telling me.
Right.
Or they're just thinking this and it's just whatever's going on inside their head. So the narrator alone. But when you've got two characters narrating the story, now I have to question where they are and why they're talking about this and like all that stuff.
The one thing and this is really isn't credit because this is like at bottom what you can do. So the one thing I will say I did appreciate that I felt could have gone way wrong with this that I've seen other movies do is where they'll talk over each other and like it's this whole thing where like we're finishing each other's sentences because we're just so in sync and great. And I was like, if you guys do that during this narration,
I'm gonna quit. Yeah. So that's barely a pro.
So that's not really too much credit, but I will say I'm glad it didn't go that far. Okay, so now let's talk about the tale of Jake and Murray.
Yeah, we're just gonna go in the order that the movie presents them.
Yeah, I considered going like least interesting to but like honestly that's basically just sort of how this worked itself out.
Yeah.
So Jake is super genius guy. He's waiting for a award to come from NASA.
Yeah, for molecular astrophysics.
Oh.
Outstanding work.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't
does he
smart.
have a wacky parent?
Sort
yeah,
of.
kind of.
I almost feel like I can guess the characters that are included in this.
Yeah, he does in fact have a wacky parent. Obviously, his mom, because he's a son, so he has to have the opposite gender parent.
That's
right?
true.
That's just a Disney Channel rule.
Oh my gosh! Now I'm working that into like all 3 vignettes, and they follow that. Or we don't see parents.
And in case you're worried, she doesn't have. She's like when we describe what she does, which is almost nothing in this short. You might feel like, oh, she didn't seem that wacky, but remember, she was a cast member on Mad TV before this, so I think that basically counts as her being a wacky parent.
So her whole thing.
I don't remember who she is.
Yeah.
All I remember is that she was on Mad
I'm
TV.
not trying to like really dive into this. It's just like that was the first like Disney Channel character I imagined when I heard super smart kid, and it's like I'm half right.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Her whole the mom, all she's doing through this little thing is she's trying to paint the living room, and that's like her whole character.
Yeah.
She's just really into painting
Yeah.
the living room. And so Murray is the cutest dog. He's so sweet and smart. He gets the mail, and he's the best character in this movie. He, like in the credits, I'll just say this, they didn't even have a blooper reel. They just had clips of Murray trying to do things and then doing the things.
Well, yeah, he's a good dog.
Yeah,
he's a great dog. And like there are scenes where they have him like pick up an object and move it somewhere else, and like because he's for the plot of the movie he needs to drop it in the trash or drop it in the toilet or whatever, and he doesn't always get it, but he's happy and his tail's wagging. And I couldn't help but think like this movie's so bad that they knew they had to put their names in the credits, so they didn't want you to pay attention to that, so they put videos of cute dogs instead.
Okay, so so Jake's going to school and he's in a science class.
By the way, real quick, his name is Jake Logan, which is such a Disney Channel name.
Yeah.
Double first name, Jake Logan. Like, they couldn't decide whether his name should be Jake or Logan, so they went with both. Also, on the Wikipedia page for this movie, when they write Murray, just like every other actor in the movie, they put the dog's name, the real actor dog's name, in parentheses, even though there's no link.
Wow.
It says Murray, and then in parentheses, Winston.
Oh,
Weird. Okay.
Yeah. In case you wanted to look up the IMDb credits for the dog, Winston.
Okay. So anyway, Jake, this is one thing too. So he's apparently supposed to be the super genius, but they don't even allude to him like skipping any grades or anything. So he's like, I don't know when he did this outstanding work. He's just like this mega genius, and he's just gonna go to regular science class. And the reason I say that is because he's in his science class, and they get like a project they have to do. It's really like I think it's one of those things where you could just do, I guess, whatever you feel like, because everyone sort of turns in something different, and it didn't seem to have a set assignment.
You never had a science project like that ever, or a science assignment like that ever, right?
Right.
I mean, I never did.
Yeah, it was never like literally just do what you want. Was this like a science fair type thing where people were making like...
No, it was supposed to be for class.
Volcanoes with baking soda and whatever? Okay.
Yeah, no, this isn't for a fair. This is for a class.
Okay.
Like, he's getting graded on it.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just say, that Jake is smart, even if he's not skipping grades, because, I mean, he's getting an award from NASA. Come on.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. You're right. So then, but we know that he's definitely the smartest in his class, because after this assignment is these two guys. By the way, the whole movie makes a big deal, like Jake's only friend is Murray, but these two guys are literally his friend. He just doesn't get that they're his friends. So they come up to him and they're like, Jake, come on, let's work together on the project. And he's like, last time we worked together, I did all the work and you guys didn't do anything. And then...
Hang on, how does that make them friends?
Because
They're not bullying him? I don't know.
They're not. It's not that. But as this okay, so in this one instance, he's the smartest, and they do want to work with him on the project. Okay, and I'm gonna keep mentioning them, and as this goes on, I think they're just his friends. They just wanted help with their science project.
Okay.
But you guys can tell me if you disagree, but I think they're just his friends. I don't think his only friend is Murray. But then the beautiful
Julianne.
Oh, Julianne. I was going to call her name from some other Disney show. Okay, but anyway, the beautiful Julianne walks up to him and says, "Hi, Jake. Can we work together on the project?" And then he's like, "Oh, I usually do them alone because people always just make me do everything because I'm smart." And she's like, "I hate people who use people," like literally like that.
Preach! Preach it!
Yeah. Shout it from the mountaintop.
But the way that the Disney music in the background and the way that she's being way overly stilted and insists on like looking to the side every bit is so that the little kids at home know, wait a minute,
she's suspicious. Anyone beautiful is to be regarded with caution.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Like the guy who plays Jake is Nick Robinson. He went on to be in like Jurassic World and Love, Simon, and like he's a pretty fine looking guy or whatever. Like he's just
a dude.
But they make it like it's impossible that Julianne would ever be interested in him, ever. When they both, if they were just walking down the hall, I don't think anyone would.
I think they're both conventionally attractive. He could have played his own bully.
Yeah. So, as is custom with Disney Channel. So then...
By the way, was any of this plot unexpected to you so far?
No. Jake is a smart guy, and it's humorous that everyone else wants to join his project group because they know he'll just do it all.
Yeah.
And they won't have to do anything.
That's very relatable for some of us.
It's a trope.
It's also very relatable for some of us.
Oh my god.
That was like
that
all
happened
of your
to
high
me
school,
in American
dude, yeah.
Well, not all the time, but yeah, okay.
That happened to me all the time.
So Julianne and him, they have like one study session, but red flag alert, she's not a big fan of Murray.
Uh-oh.
And Murray, first he comes up and he tries to play with her a little bit, and she's just like, dog. And then he's like, well, I don't much like that. So Murray's trying to protect his best friend, and he's trying to get all his little red flags going, but Jake is just not getting it. They end up going to...
Sorry.
Hold on. Yeah, can you say, like, the name, like, Murray and Jake, so I know what Murray's doing and what Jake is doing?
Oh, yeah. Murray is trying to... Like, Murray's barking and, like, trying to, like, get Julianne away.
Can I try this?
Okay.
Jake and Julianne are sitting on the bed, I believe, and Jake is trying to get Julianne to study, and she's not really that into that. And somehow the dog has a much, much better read of this girl than Jake does.
Yeah.
Because he's, like, completely oblivious to the fact that she's just trying to use him for his brain. And Murray's like, hey, man, you're better than that. You don't deserve this kind of abuse. But he's a dog, so he's saying that, like, woof, woof, bark, woof. Yeah. Etc.
So the other thing I'll mention, though, is that also then a little bit later, Julian almost like immediately steps out to take a call, and then she's talking with her friends, and they're like, oh my gosh, you have to come to this sale that's happening right now. I can't. I'm working on my science project. I'm totally going to get this loser to do it all for me. And Murray's right there, and he growls at her. And
I know. It sounds like she's improvising the plot of this movie. I know. It does not sound like a real movie.
You have to come on down to Macy's for the Macy's Day Sale.
No, but including the name Macy's makes it way too real.
Yeah, we have to go down to Stacy's.
They just said the sale.
Yeah.
Just the sale. Yeah. We can't know where it is.
We don't even know what it is. What are we buying?
It's just a sale.
In this real generic looking
Hey,
store.
I heard the sale's coming to town. You want to go?
Holy cow, the sale? I can't wait.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime thing.
Yeah. You know what? They were just real jazzed about Toyotathon.
Yeah.
So she really wants to hit the sale.
Oh my god, is it Ram Truck Month already?
So Murray's now got, like... So Jake...
I had it on my couch.
So Murray is just, like, being real fussy, and Jake is like, okay, well, let's just go to the dog park, and we could just think for a little bit. We could talk about the project and, like, play for a little bit.
And he'll be doing his thing, yeah.
So that's the plan. They go there, and then Jake is like, oh, why don't you throw a ball? And to Julianne. And then she throws it, but she throws it, like, super far away, so Murray could just get lost, literally. In fact, Murray ends up getting lost, and he meets a character who won't really matter till a little later, Savannah. And
she won't matter almost at all, even in her own arc.
That's true, too. But anyway, then while Jake and Julianne are sitting down, she says, Jake, I can't work with you anymore. My feelings are just too strong. I won't be able to control myself around you.
What?
And then, because this is the thing, because she prefaced it with, like, I think you need to do it all. He's like, what? You're just gonna
ditch? Like you just said, you don't like people who just,
no,
mooches.
But it's not that. It's because you're too irresistible. I can't control myself around you. And then he's like, oh. And then, like, so now they're boyfriend and girlfriend.
Which, okay, so, like, you might be a little confused. I was certainly confused, because as far as ruses go, this isn't one.
Yeah.
Right? Because, like, she was trying to trick him into doing the work, but now she's actually dating him.
Yeah, it's not that, like, she wanted them to go to his bedroom to, do the work or whatever because she actually wanted to, like, jump his bones or whatever.
Right.
It's that,
she's
like,
not actually interested in him.
It's that, it's the other way around. They just went wherever or whatever, and she was intending to just, like, sit there and do nothing, but she fell in love with him.
But no, I don't. I think she's still lying, is the thing.
No.
She's still not interested in him. But in what way is it you're just putting yourself through the problem of dating some guy you don't want to date. You didn't have to do that. He was doing all the work already.
Yeah.
I guess let's see how this plays out.
But now she doesn't have to be present because, but now she
doesn't have to be present for the project. Now she has to be present for everything else because they're dating.
But no, that's the thing though. That's what made it. She messed herself up. So she was saying, I don't know what she was thinking, because, like, really. So she was saying, Jake, I need to go. I cannot help you with this project because I can't control myself around you. He says, I like you too. Let's go out. But she was saying she needs to leave because you would never want to date me. And then he's like, no, I would, so just stay here. So she can't even
leave.
But
it's, like, insane. She was trying to use her sex appeal to get him to do the project, but then she's arguing you wouldn't want to date me. Of course he wants to date you. That's why he's doing the project.
It's so weird. I don't know what.
It doesn't make any sense at all.
And maybe she's her own frenemy.
And see, like, now this is actually why. This is part of why I think they meant for this to be like interwoven stories, because I actually think this would make more sense if we saw other stories going on simultaneously, not because those other stories would give context, but because we would have more time to forget why she got into this situation in the first place, and so maybe our dumb lizard brains wouldn't realize that it doesn't make any sense, and we would just roll with it. Yeah. But because it's like, we just saw her slagging him off on the phone, and then immediately they go on a walk, and now she's, like, trying to become his girlfriend, it doesn't make any sense. And it doesn't accomplish any of her goals either, because she's not any closer to getting an A.
And she's also, like, she was trying to do this, like,
just to get the A, and then she would bounce and go date some guy who's gonna, I don't know, rail her or whatever.
So then that happens, but then Murray runs into Savannah, and then they come in, and Savannah is a good girl. She likes skateboarding, and she loves Murray. And Murray ends up skating back to Jake, and he's like,
Murray ends up skating back to Jake.
Wait, you're being serious?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm being serious.
Again, she's not improvising the plot of this film.
I did kind of think maybe it was a slip of the tongue, and I wasn't gonna like correct you.
No. He skates back.
He's on the skateboard.
He's a talented dog.
Yeah.
Winston is an absolute show dog, I guess.
Honestly, that's just true. But
I
then,
hope he's still doing stuff.
oh, Winston, he's so cute. Okay, so then, Savannah comes and she's just a cool girl, and Jake is like, "Oh wow, you're a cool girl," and he's like immediately super into her, and like they're having like an actual conversation about Murray because he cares about Murray. And then Julianne is like, well, this won't do, we're leaving, and she's like really rude and leaves, and then Savannah's like, okay, and then just goes home, and it's like, whatever.
Why did that happen? Who cares?
Okay.
Yeah, so then the next day Jake tries to look cool, and he puts on like this weird leather jacket and like his mom's scarf, and it's like, haha, that's your mom's scarf or whatever. And then he goes in and out. Remember?
Okay.
Trust me, he looks really cool.
This is important though, because remember how Bella and Zendaya were in this movie? Well,
Oh yeah.
they're coming here.
Here they are
And
in the plot.
And they're like, ew, this is a fashion catastrophe. And like they do teamwork, they rip it off, the scarf, and then they untuck his tuck and flip his collar up, and like he basically looks the same, just doesn't have the scarf on anymore.
Also,
but it took
can we just pause real quick? Connor, if you dressed in a way that you were like, actually, like you were like, I'm putting effort into this outfit, I want to look good for my peers. You come to school, and then two girls literally dress you down by pulling clothes off your body and, like, changing you up. Is there anything you would, like, I can't think of a better reason to run home crying.
I'd be like, why?
I can't imagine what kind of internal anguish would come from doing that in real life.
So you're telling me that Zendaya and whoever, I keep forgetting the other person, Bella Thorne, their role in these stories, they're not going to show up because of whatever conflict is actually going on. They're going to show up because someone's having a fashion crisis, and they're going to fix that person's outfit.
Yeah, no, what I will say is that their roles throughout this movie change, and
this was the only hook in this plot that they had.
But are never, like, good enough to have these two be the framing device.
So story 2 is just about them. They're
they're the main characters of story 2. And then story 1, this is the only hook of them in. And then story 3, I think they briefly show up. Maybe. They do. But we'll get there.
Okay, that was just ridiculous. Yeah, why are they here only to change an outfit? Okay.
And for some
reason, takes it really well.
Yeah, no, he's cool with it because he was just like, oh, I saw it in a magazine, and she was like, then Zendaya was like, in the dentist office, those are never up to date. And he was like, oh, he just, I will say, he just was like, oh, well, actually, this was very helpful. Thank you, ladies. I'm trying to look good for my girlfriend. And they're like,
he takes it.
And then
let me tell you a sad story, real short story. When I was working, do you remember, Connor? I worked in. I don't want to give away. I worked in an aviation division.
Yeah.
And I came into work, and my shirt was blue, and my tie was slightly a slightly greener shade than the thing, and someone walked up to me and lifted my tie off my chest and said, wow, it doesn't even match, and then dropped it back on my chest. I went to the bathroom and just cried. Like, I took off my tie and put it in my pocket, and then I cried in the bathroom for like 30 minutes. I was a terrible employee. The alternative was I was going to be checking Twitter in the bathroom for 30 minutes. But but I cried in the bathroom for 30 minutes and came back and then pretended to do work for the rest of the day. And, like, that was just one comment. These two girls in high school just, like, changed his whole outfit.
Yeah.
Wow. It was rude.
By the way, just so it's clear, pretending to do work was all I did at that job. Mm-hmm. So, like, I don't want it to seem like she ruined a day's worth of work. That work was never getting done.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now remember the two guys who wanted to do the project with him? They show up again and they're like, hey, wow, like, you look good. And he's like, yeah, it's for Julianne. And they're like, whoa, you're dating Julianne? That's, like, awesome. And so that's why I feel like they do like him. It's not just for the science project. Because they're, like, just
okay.
Because, like, and then we'll also see them later and they're in the corner doing something. It looks awful. I definitely think
they need guidance.
They do need guidance. I don't even really feel like they were opposed to doing work. They just kind of need to be like wind-up dolls.
Yeah, like,
they're just holding two strainers.
Let's let's think of Disney Channel high school stereotypes. These two guys could either be like bullies, or they could be like the two friends who are also kind of outcasty. If the main guy is kind of outcasty, like one could be a super nerd or something. It sounds like these two are just there, and that's weird.
Yeah, no, you're right. They don't really fall into a trope. They're just two classmates who have taken an interest in Jake and like talking to him. And he has been burned too many times. He refuses to trust them.
That's fair, honestly.
Yeah. So there's that. So anyway, they're just like rooting for him. Now it's getting a little... So in between this, Jake's thing came in the mail. And
his award from NASA.
Right.
And Julianne is working with him again. But she sent a letter in the morning, and Murray, the dog, smelled Julianne's perfume on the letter and went to throw it in the trash. It smelled like her.
Yeah.
So.
Because Murray's a really good dog, and he understands both the concept.
Why did she send a letter?
I don't know.
Is this the 18th century?
It was like a...
Dearest Jake.
It looked like the little envelopes that come with flowers, but she just like she just mailed it to, I don't know.
Okay.
Whatever.
And she also spritzed it with her perfume.
Yeah, so...
Or wears enough that it just comes off.
Yeah.
Either way, the dog understands the concept of trash, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, so then he's like, oh, no. Why did you... Whatever, he's like, that was from Julianne. What's with you, Murray? You're not being like yourself. And doesn't like, whatever. And then that's fine. Him and Julianne are trying to work on the project again, and Murray keeps like sitting in chairs and won't let Julianne sit down. He's really trying to as far as dogs go, I don't think he could be any clearer that he wants this woman out of his home.
I mean, couldn't he kill her? Wouldn't that be a clearer sign he doesn't like her?
Well, he doesn't. He knows he's not violent.
Yeah, okay.
He's not a Rotem.
Okay, so she barked a bit.
Anyway.
Barked a bit? She killed 2 other dogs.
Oh, yeah.
She killed 2 dogs and bit a bunch of people.
Anyway, so now, the next... Julianne is so evil. She's concocted a scheme. She's like, okay, Murray doesn't like how I smell, so I'm gonna spritz Jake's big old NASA award with my perfume. So then Murray gets a whiff, and immediately he takes it and he scurries. The trash isn't enough this time because he could get it. This time, he hurries to the bathroom, and then Jake's like, wait, what are you doing? Whoa, stop. And he
By the way, the mom is just watching. She's not saying anything. The son is going, Murray, what are you doing? That's my award. Murray, stop. But he's not moving. He's saying this, but he's not moving. I don't know if you've owned a dog. Did Indy ever pick up anything you didn't want her to have? Ever?
Yeah. So
did you ever? Floor. So what did you? Did you A, stand at a distance and say things to her, or B, take it from her?
Yeah, I'd just reach out and I'd go like, "No, Indy, no,
no, Indy, please, no, no," and then she would do what she will. Oh, Indy.
As you describe what happens here, this is the clip you sent me. So are you gonna like put it on screen or something?
Yeah, we'll put the clip on later.
Because this is ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I think this is the best scene in the world, and this is when I knew I had to tell everybody about this movie.
Because he runs and he drops the thing in the toilet, and then the boy has the most dramatic speech for the dog, and I don't even want to summarize it.
Yeah,
we'll just put the clip here.
Yeah, okay.
This one's for you, Doggo.
Hey, Murray, what have you got there? Wait, that's my... Murray, no! No!
Why would Murray do that?
This is the worst thing you've ever done. You're the worst dog. I hate you. Get out of here! Get out!
So he just goes off on his dog.
He literally just broke up with his dog. Murray just runs away.
Broke up with his dog.
He did.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
But then here's the thing. Okay, like, now I understand that Murray is just Jake's dog and really talented, but I gotta say I'm a little confused at Mom's next few actions here, because she comes and she's like, man, why would Murray be like that? Mind you, Murray has left the house.
Oh. Packed up his
Stormed
little
off.
doggy suitcase and walked to the bus stop.
He's got his sunglasses on and he's like, I'm out of here. He's got a little tote.
Yeah.
He's gone. And she's just like, now friends fight. To Jake.
She's describing it like this happened between two humans. When one of them you could call animal control on if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And, like, that's the other thing, too. Like, he's not even ready. He just, like, leaves. And now you both have actually owned dogs.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever broke up with your dog to the point that they needed to leave, would the rest
I would
of
demand that the dog give me the house key back
Would
that
the-
we gave them.
Yeah.
would the rest of the family just stand by and be like, man, I hope those two work it out?
No, absolutely not.
It's okay. You and Murray just need some space.
If anything, I think if I shouted at my dog, my mom or dad or brother or anyone else nearby would probably be comforting the dog, because, like, unlike Murray, the incredibly Winston, let's be real, the incredibly talented dog, my dog never would have really understood what he did wrong. And in this case, Murray doesn't understand what he did wrong. So instead, she just lets him run away and be sad. And goes, like, better intellectualize this exercise with my son.
Like, I don't know if this is, like, rude, but, like, dogs are basically, like, the same, even, like, as talented as they are, or as smart as they are, they're basically like a small child.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So, like...
I was so ready to call what you said rude, but that is true, yeah. They're
Okay.
basically small children, yeah.
Okay, so, like, this, like, 5-year-old, we'll say, is just leaving the
Yeah,
house.
like if you
after-
yell at a baby
Yeah.
and then they run away,
We're just cool with
you don't
it.
just go like, oh, well, friends will be friends. He'll wake up. Like, what are you talking about?
Go get him. But luckily...
Mom has this piece of wisdom, though.
Oh, yeah.
She does say, he says, like, oh, we were, like, I think she says, you were best friends. And then he says, now we're enemies, which is not the right attitude towards pet ownership, by the way. You should never be enemies of your pet. But, didn't think I needed to say that. But...
I thought this was going to be a sweet story of, like, how, you know, a boy and his dog can, you know, I don't
Overcome
know.
the
The dog can
evil of
always be
women.
there even when, you know, humans at high school are, you know, mean and whatever.
Mean
But
too.
this is darted weird. What? He broke up with his dog.
Yeah, he broke up with his dog. And she says, like, oh, you guys were best friends. And he's like, yeah, and now we're enemies. And then she says, frenemies.
That is that's important. I am glad that you.
Yeah, I just thought it was important that when the title drop happens in the first third of the movie, and it's really, really forced.
It's so forced.
Because it's like, you can't really... I mean, like, the concept of frenemies... Like, let's be real. The concept of actually being frenemies with someone is sort of relatable, where you act friendly towards them, but both of you hate each other, and, like, we all maybe... Well, I can't even say that we've all done this, because not everybody has had a frenemy, but we've all known people that we're cordial to, but, like, we don't really like them. And, like, that's kind of the idea of a frenemy encapsulated. You can't have that relationship with a dog.
No.
Yeah.
Like, a dog can't feel that way towards you. It either likes you or it doesn't.
Yeah, like, the dog did something that you didn't understand and didn't like, so you yelled at it and it ran off. That does not make you frenemies. What?
That doesn't make you... Yeah, like...
That makes you a bad dog owner.
Yeah, that's all it makes you. It makes you bad at dog discipline.
So, okay, but now, luckily, Murray's found better companionship with Savannah, because she runs into him and was like, oh man, Jake must be worried sick about you. I'm gonna take you home until I can somehow get in contact with him. Then we have this moment that it's like, okay, that's a little weird. Murray finds her yearbook has a heart circled around Jake's picture. So even though, as far as we knew, they just met at the dog park like the other day, the implication isn't that like after that day at the park she got a crush on him. She's had a crush on him for a long time.
Yeah.
And
also now Murray, not only does he understand the concept of trash, he understands the concept of toilets and how flushing something down the toilet would be more permanent than throwing it in the trash, which is itself a crazy complicated idea for a dog. But now he understands the symbolism of the heart shape and how a yearbook works and how that he now ships them.
He for sure does ship them. The one thing I will
He's a dog.
The one thing I will say is I guess someone who's a fan of this movie could argue that she was just projecting these thoughts onto Murray, because they did that thing where like
he looks at her and then she's
like, what? I don't like Jake. Well, maybe I like him a little.
Okay.
This is a Disney movie.
Okay, whatever. Now we go back to school, and Julianne is at the lunch, which is, I don't know, this isn't really a dig, but it just seems kind of unrealistic that she'd eat cafeteria food. Just nothing about her vibe says that to me. But whatever. She's getting lunch at the cafeteria.
So I'm just thinking about that lunch description from UB147.
Yeah.
Then this other kid comes and he's like, oh yes, I forget what book it is, but he's like, I did your report for you and I argued that this nuance and this like something, and she's like, oh wow, that's so wordy, thanks, and she gives him a kiss on the cheek. And then Savannah happens to be in the line, and she's like, she has 2 boyfriends, and then she follows her some more, and then there's like a math guy giving her some homework, like, yeah, so like if you still want, we can like go over those quadratic equations. That's what I have you for, sweetie. And then kiss on the cheek. She's like, 3 boyfriends? What's this girl up to?
Did you hear what Connor just did? Yeah, he was just going, because he's now understanding the depth of this plot.
Yeah, she's playing everyone.
This is evil. Now we get it. The plot thickens.
Yeah. But then the boys, the friends of Jake, they saw Murray at one point.
They saw Murray?
No, they didn't see Murray. But, like, I think... Gosh. This is where it gets a little confusing for me. But they know... They're like... Yeah, no. They talked to Savannah because she was looking for Jake because she wanted to
get the science project.
No. Savannah talked to the boys.
Oh, right.
She's looking for Jake because she wants to get Murray back to him. And then the guys are like, oh, yeah, Murray. Like, Jake's all about Murray. So then they go to talk to Jake, and then Jake is like, no, Murray's dead to me, basically. Yeah. They're like, that's not you, Jake. What's going on?
How come the mom didn't have anything to say to him about his extreme attitude towards his dog?
Yeah, yeah, it's your award from NASA, but like, come on. Who does that? Who says like, no, my dog is dead to me now?
Like, you think that you can't call NASA and ask them to send a second one?
The other thing too,
like they have it on file. It's not like they forgot.
This mom is like really passive, and like on one hand, like I understand like you want your teen to do their thing, but like
their thing shouldn't be hating their dog.
Yeah, like you gotta intervene sometime.
This thing is insane.
Yeah. So then,
by thing you mean son, right?
The son's thing that he's doing.
Oh, that too. Yeah.
So then, the friends are talking to Jake in the science room. The project's all done, and Julianne comes in to collect it. For some reason, all her projects are due today, and she's doing it. And then Jake realize for some reason all of a sudden now Jake puts it together.
Savannah exposes her.
Well, not that part, but he smells his NASA thing and he's like, it smells like you made it smell like you because you knew that Murray would try to get rid of it. You set up my dog.
This sounds really stupid, and it is really stupid.
Really
it's in the movie, and I just want to read from the Wikipedia. It's so stupid the Wikipedia doesn't even mention the actual reason. They just say, but when he discovers Julianne's scheme, Jake refuses to give her the project. Which is accurate. Does not get at the heart of what's so stupid about this.
So then Julian's like, what? Why would I do that? And then...
sorry, real quick, I just want to say, looking back at the Wikipedia page one more time, when Murray runs away, it's not just because Murray is sad, it's also because Jake yells at him and commands him to go away.
Yeah.
And then he does.
Yeah, he says, you're the worst dog, get out of here.
And Murray fully understands that is not just permission, but a demand that you run away from home.
Yeah.
Gosh, this is...
Like, did you ever have your parents mad at you and they say, get out of my sight? And then you were like, I know, okay, fine, I'll get the stick and bindle, I'm getting out of here. Like, I'm moving out.
Along those lines, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they instantly, they're like, I'm glad you understood. Thank you for leaving.
So then...
We're enemies.
Then Savannah has her big reveal with these other guys. And then...
She's like, look, all her other boyfriends.
And then Julian's like, oh, sweetie, dumpling, or like whatever. They're like, you can find someone else to do your homework now, toots, or whatever they say. And then she's like, well, the science project is mine. And then the guys, who I definitely feel are for sure his friends, at least now, they're like, what are you doing, Jake? That's a great project. That, like, nobody knows what it does. But then she's like, I'm going to take it. And then he's like, you know what? I don't even care because I lost my best friend because of you. And I'm like, no, you didn't, actually.
You can recover the relationship with a dog pretty easily.
Real quick.
Yeah.
She's holding the project. And Jake is standing there like, I don't even care. Whatever, you made me lose my best friend. Speak of the devil, in storms Murray, who knocks her over and destroys the project at the same time.
Why is the dog at school?
No idea. I have no idea. He's there. He destroys the project, and everyone cheers. Hooray! Down with false idols.
What?
And that's the end of the first story.
Was there any teacher in the room or any authority who would have heard this entire thing go on and say, Julia, it sounds like that's not your project?
No, I don't even think we saw a teacher when they were getting assigned the project.
Was there a single possibility that Julia could have gotten away with this if Murray didn't show up and do something?
I mean,
I feel like...
Apparently, yes. There was lots of possibility, because Jake was just apparently gonna take the F.
Like, that's another thing I don't fully get. Like, And also, I feel like, I don't even think, I wonder if he would have even gotten an F, because, like, if he had just been like, I'm not doing anything else for you again, and then she'd be like, okay, but, like, I'll keep, both our names are on this, we worked together on this, and now we both get an A. But, like, he could easily just be like, Julianne, answer one question about this thing you didn't make. Which I don't know why that doesn't happen for any of her classes, because she didn't listen to that guy.
Yeah, she doesn't do shit.
That guy tried to explain what her English report was about. She blew him off. She's made, I don't know how she got this far. She's like refuses to learn.
I mean, it also sounds like this happened in front of a bunch of other people who could go tell the science teacher, like, hey, Julie's trying to steal Jake's project.
Yeah, sorry, Mrs. Whatever. I don't have a science project to deliver because Julianne tried to steal it from me, and I know that's a big accusation, but I've got 4 friends and a dog to testify to it.
Yeah, the only thing I worry about, though, is now he has to make... Because now, even though he has all these people to attest to what happened, if he doesn't want an F, he's going to have to make it again because Murray broke the thing.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, I'm just...
He's brilliant.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, he doesn't...
He could probably test out of the class if he wanted to.
That's true, too. Molecular astrophysics.
Molecular astrophysics, I don't think, is even a field.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what that would be.
What would you do in molecular... Like, the most you can do about stars that are too far away to access in any way is maybe figure out what they're made of. But we've already got that on lock. Like, the science on that is in. Yeah. So I don't know what new breakthroughs he's got. Well, anyway, that's the end of the first third of the movie. And you might be like, oh no, this video is going to be too long. And it probably still will be. But at least the second section is really stupid.
Oh, okay. I just Googled what...
Don't worry about it.
Okay, it didn't make any sense to me.
It's okay. Just tell us about the second part of the movie.
Okay, so this is Bella and Zendaya's big thing that they did. Were
they famous before this movie?
This was like during the big, like this, they were...
During them exploding.
Yeah, like Shake It Up was going on, they had their music videos, and then this movie. This was like their beginnings. So like they were the biggest stars of this movie, but like not really.
By the way, small thing, on the what's it called, the posters and cover of the movie Frenemies, I really feel like they washed out Zendaya's skin color. She looks almost white passing. But then in the movie they don't do that, thank God. But like, it just seems, I don't know, to me that's what it looked like they were doing.
I feel like it might be just like the highlights or something. I don't know. They don't really cater
I don't know.
to those sorts of things.
They didn't keep her natural skin tone, which I find very strange.
I'm gonna leave that there.
Okay.
So then they're doing their fashion blog, and basically nobody reads it until now, because they do this thing, which I don't know if this is something you can do, but I guess they have it hooked up that they can like see how many pings their blog is getting all over the country.
Yeah, I mean, you see where people are accessing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're doing that, and now it's like they have like a few in their area, but then they have one in New York or something, and then they immediately get a call and it's the CEO of Geeky Chic. And
Geekly Chic.
Geekly Chic, okay.
No.
What?
It's a magazine in New York, a fashion magazine, and it's gonna their blog is great and needs to be highlighted by this world famous magazine. Can I just say real quick though, if I was a teen girl and I was hosting a blog and then I got a random ping from someone far away from me, and then I got a call from a stranger saying that they wanted to meet with me, that's just a predator.
Yeah.
Like, that's literally a predator. So, like,
yeah, it seems kind of weird that they could see, like, they saw that there was one view, one ping from all the way over in New York, and then, like, just very coincidentally got a call from the pinger in New York.
I mean, that's very sus.
That's
Either way,
true.
they created Geekly Chic.
Oh yeah, they created Geekly Chic, but the publishing company, whatever, she wants them, and they go to do this interview, and she's like, okay, great, this publishing, whatever, we need a young voice, and Geekly Chic is it.
Is Geekly Chic like a pun or something? I don't get it, but it sounds like it should be. It
just rhymes slightly.
Okay.
That's it. That's why it sucks. I hate it.
It sounds like I'm missing the joke.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, but then they also make it that Zendaya's kind of like the nerdy analytical one, and then Bella Thorne's the wild fashiony one. So it might be like one's of us the geek and one of us is the chic. I don't know.
It doesn't. Yeah, no, I agree. It does sound like you're missing the joke.
The other thing I'd like to bring up is that Bella Thorne's character, and this I feel is very Disney Channel-y, her name in this movie is Avalon Green.
Okay.
And Zendaya is Halle Brandon. These are...
Okay.
I just hate Disney Channel names.
Okay. So, anyway, but here's the problem. It sounds like all their dreams are coming true, right? But the boss assumes that one of them is must be the secretary, because or whatever, partners have never been a thing before in having a website. Right. And she's like, it can only be one of you.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like, like on the Aesthetic channel, I'm your sidekick, and like in True Bloods, I'm your sidekick, and then like in Living Together, I was your sidekick.
Right.
It's, two people have never worked on a thing together in equal measure.
Yeah.
No one's ever done that before.
So then, the solution is...
Also, in this marriage, I'm her sidekick. Just kidding.
Whoa.
No, you're my hench husband.
Oh, that's right. She wants me to be her henchman, but also her husband, so her hench husband.
Yeah.
I'm okay with the title.
Yeah.
That's hashtag goals.
Uh-huh.
Tweet about it.
Okay, I'm going to continue now. So, the solution is whoever brings the hottest story can get the whole website, which I'm like, okay, but like, they have, I guess if they sign over the rights, then you can sign it back to one of them, but right now it's both of theirs. So you can't.
Yeah, you don't get to decide who gets to own Geekly Chic. You haven't bought them yet.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, you're like, who's the actual owner? Whatever. You two compete versus each other, and whoever gives me the best story, I'll make you the owner.
That's literally it, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what the plot of this segment is.
Oh, wait. You know what's weird, though? I'm looking at the Wikipedia page, and they're saying, but decides to only let one of them be the senior editor because she believes that the quality of writing will be better. Yeah. But what's weird about that is, like, but now that kind of is weird because, like, they make it clear that Avalon doesn't care that much about the writing. She just likes finding the stories. So wouldn't that just make Zendaya the senior editor anyway?
That's Zendaya's argument. But the other person doesn't get to be employed.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought...
Right, like Zendaya gets to be employed as the head writer in this scenario, and then what? Bella Thorne does what she does in real life and spirals out.
Anyway.
I don't know.
So then, okay,
a little bit of light commentary there.
Uh-huh.
So they find out that there's going to be this French singer named Jean Franck. So they're both trying
Jean Franck?
Yes.
Beautiful.
Jean Franck.
Okay.
So they want to interview him after his first American sold-out concert. And then they're fighting each other.
Over who's going to interview him.
And, like, I'm leaving a lot of details out because they weren't nearly as interesting as the first.
Sorry, I'm looking back at this summary and realizing there are so many elements of, like, they could have been preyed on so easily so many times in this one story.
What else are you noticing?
Well, I'm just, I mean, skipping ahead a little bit. So one of them starts to text Jean-Franc.
Right.
And being like, hey, I run this thing, I'm a teenage girl. Have your way with me, is basically what she says.
No.
What she's trying to say is, can I interview you? And he's like, oh yeah, come to my dressing room. Which is like, not a good look for Jean-Franc. Like, you're putting that in text, like, and also you're doing that, like...
and then, yeah, but then the other one...
She's actually, I believe it's Bella Thorne impersonating Zendaya.
Well...
Right? Or is it the other way around?
It's the other way around, because this guy who also has a blog at their school, he reviews all the websites that students run at their school. So if you
Can you imagine the amount of clout you would have at your school if your reputation was you review other students' websites and personal projects?
Yeah.
The amount of clout, absolutely none.
Hold on. I am a little confused again. So, the blog these two run, that I've already forgotten the name of, it's just a small blog that it sounds like no one cares about aside from this exec in New York. So how the hell are they pulling this interview with this guy who sold out like his first American tour?
This is why I think he seems like a predator.
So here's the thing.
He got a text from a teenage girl with a failing fashion blog, and he said, come on in!
Like, that's like if I went to a sold-out concert, and I was just like, hey, I want to get an exclusive interview with you guys. Yeah. They'd be like, who are you?
Yeah. I have a couple of trending Google reviews. Can I get an interview?
So here's the thing. So this guy... So earlier, they're really stoked about Geekly Chic. They have little business cards and a booth for some reason.
They don't even have an audience.
No.
Why do they have a booth?
But they are going to offer their fashion advice, and hopefully they can post the results on their blog. But then someone's like, your website is irrelevant because, I don't know, Neville or whatever didn't review it. And then they're like, oh man. And like they also have like an ongoing rivalry with this. Like, he's just a wannabe Neville from iCarly, really. But anyway, it turns out that once Zendaya and Bella Thorne have their falling out, Neville approaches Bella Thorne and is like, so I heard about your little predicament. Turns out that I know someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows someone who can get you the number. I believe it's like a dry cleaning deal or whatever. But either way, that's how Bella Thorne gets the in.
Jean-Franc.
And then...
Why he's doing this, I don't know.
He's into Bella Thorne.
Oh, so he's also a predator.
Yeah.
God.
Holy cow! There's so many... How did I not see this the first time I watched the movie?
I mean, they're the same age. He's just helping.
He's just helping her career in exchange for sexual favors. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, when you
phrase it the way it is, it sounds bad.
Yes. So then they do this other classic Disney Channel that you cannot be best friends if you don't live right next door to each other.
Yes.
And your bedrooms need to be right across from each other so you can open the window and have those conversations.
I mean, Connor, you remember when we lived together, the only reason we did was so that we could stick our heads out of our bedroom windows and shout outside at each other.
Yeah, because
our rooms were... I mean, we could have just I could have stepped into his room, but I stuck my head out the window and I was like, hey, you dick! Like,
man, our doors are always closed.
Yeah, closed. We had food passing in through the windows, too.
Oh, I see.
The kitchen, when we came in, the kitchen was spotless, and then when we left, the only difference the realtors found were spider webs. Untouched.
Snap, did my food delivery arrive? Hey, Bob, can you pass that over for me?
Yeah. Yeah, well, they put it through my window again. Ugh. All right, get ready to catch.
So then, they're meeting with this guy, and then the big
Jean Franck.
Right. Along the way, they've tried sabotaging each other. It's like this whole.
It's not interesting or fun at all.
Like literally, like you know, like on Tom and Jerry, how like he'll be chasing Jerry, but then someone else is chasing him, and then like one trips and then gets ahead. Just picture that instead, and that's what's happening.
It's more amusing, certainly.
Yeah. So anyway,
they go in. Jean Franck is like, I can't be a predator to two women at the same time. Sorry, two girls at the same time. Oh, this is too frustrating for me.
The big reveal is that Jean Franck isn't actually French. He's just some guy from New Jersey.
Yeah, and real quick, I just want to say his character's name is Johnny Frankowski.
Oh, okay.
So I guess he changed his name so that people wouldn't know his name was Frankowski, which has some has a slight ring of weirdness to me, but
How has he fooled the entire world? Whatever.
Well,
I mean,
so then
I don't know. I can think of a joke. Yeah.
So then they end up going halvesies on the article, and then the big career woman is like, "You'll never make it in this town if you insist on having a friend." And then, so I'm not hiring either of you.
And they go, no, oh well. And then they look online at their global traffic, and because they got that exclusive hit about Johnny Frankowski, which, by the way, why would he give them permission to publish that? But yeah, they get that. They've got the exclusive scoop, so they're blowing up anyway. They don't even need this big New York thing, and I don't know why their parents let them fly out to New York just to say no. You could have done that over the phone.
Yeah. I don't know. Make an impact or whatever.
You could just not show up for the follow-up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They wanted to make an impact.
Yeah.
Now their blog is a global hit, and they're friends. So that's the end of their plot. Thanks. Now I'm going to talk about the third and final story of Savannah, skater girl from earlier. She's going to get her own frenemy tea.
Oh, nice.
But the other...
By the way, the word frenemy I don't think was actually used in the second part.
Okay, I was wondering, were they going to title drop it in all three parts?
No, I don't think they title drop it in either of the other two parts.
I think during the framing device, they might have. I believe at some point, I don't remember for which part, but at some point in the narration, like Zendaya's like, "Oh wow, like another case of frenemies."
Yeah, they probably.
Like
I mean, at some point they must have defined the term, right? So they probably drop it then.
Maybe. But anyway, so this one I'll just preface, as far as the framing device goes, I guess it must have dawned on them, they really did not matter in the first one. And the second part that was about them was pretty boring. But, like, we gotta make use of Zendaya and Bella Thorne, so we're just gonna really force their way into this one too much.
This one has nothing to do with them, but they are still around.
So,
right.
Savannah is a normal girl. She's only has a dad and some brothers.
A normal Disney Channel girl.
Yeah, a normal Disney Channel girl. She has a crush on Jake, but she gets tongue-tied when she's around him. She showed off her guns, and she's like, "Oh, boys don't want to see guns." And then...
Not firearms, like her.
Right.
Like her,
yeah, these guns. Yeah.
Yeah. She does silly things like that.
It would be wild if she showed off firearms. So.
On the way to school.
Hey, Jake, you want to look at this? And she pulls out like a
she opens her backpack. There's like a MAC-10 in there. She's like, huh? You think that's cool? You should come back to my house. I got more. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Savannah, what?
My dog spent the night at your house.
Yeah, he fired a couple rounds.
I mean...
Don't worry, we put headphones on him, okay?
He's a really talented dog.
Such a good dog.
Yeah.
Such a good boy.
And then later we're introduced...
After he picks up and puts down the gun, he always makes sure there's a safeties on.
Yeah.
Good dog.
So then that's their deal. But then there's this other girl who looks just like her named Emma.
Played by the same actor.
And
can you see where this Wait, can you just tell where this is going?
So Savannah and Emma look really similar. They're played by the same actor.
Yeah. Take a guess at where this is going.
Gosh, I actually don't know.
So they go to the mall, and they're like...
They meaning Savannah and
Emma, and Emma's butler, Pemberley.
And they don't know each other at this point, right?
No, they don't know each other.
So they independently go to the
How does this happen if they're played by the same actor? Like, I can't imagine this movie, like, the editing team had the talent.
They did the split screen thing. There were some parts where it looks like, where you could really tell who was actually in the frame and who was green screened in. But, like, it doesn't look that bad.
Yeah, sometimes they do, like, a split down the middle
I'm
of the
amazed
frames.
they actually, like, tried.
Yeah, they tried, and it sort of works most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they know. I mean, we never see like a really crappy high five between them or anything like that. So
the only reason I think it didn't work, like I don't know,
is because of the plot.
Well, no, I was gonna say, but like Disney Channel movies, like they filmed the whole thing in like a month, and so they really weren't paying attention to like matching up the lighting like they would do in other movies like bigger movies that do this.
Yeah.
But like you couldn't see like the line or anything like that.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It wasn't perfect, but it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Surprisingly good.
Yeah. So anyway, they're at the mall and they're both like, "Do you have a size 8?" And then they see each other. Okay. Oh, and by the way, Bella and Zendaya are also at this store.
They're just here.
Wait, is this where the sale is?
Oh, maybe. Oh, that would have been. See, they could have tied it in if we had seen Julia's friends.
See, this is where the interweaving, this is the evidence left over of the... They probably cut all the scenes of Julianne being here at this thing. And that actually would have explained why Bella Thorne and Zendaya were even aware of Julianne's whole involvement with Jake.
So anyway.
Wow.
They look at each other and they do, "You look just like me." "No, you look just like me."
No, can you do that in a British accent?
Oh. "You look just like me."
Perfect. That's exactly the accent she has in the movie. It's that very low effort.
Okay.
But I think it more posh sounding because she's rich.
Yeah, you kind of went for like a Cockney thing.
That's all I got.
Okay.
So then they're sitting and they're just like talking.
Man, my life sucks. Oh, my life sucks too.
And then they're literally... So here's one thing but before we even get to that, this is what I mean about how Bella and Zendaya are really forcing their way into this. Because they're saying like, "You look just like me. You look like me," or whatever. And then they're like, "That's really weird." And then like they're about to like discuss something. And then Zendaya and Bella Thorne show up. And then... Because earlier they looked at the two of them. Because Zendaya was like, "Is that Emma who goes to our school?" And Bella's like, "No, that's Savannah because she's wearing this really rich prep school girl uniform."
You flipped them.
Oh yeah, whatever.
Doesn't matter.
No. So then they show up, even though the girls already figured out everything that they knew. But Bella comes, "I can't stand misunderstandings. This is too much. So here's the deal. You're you and she's her."
What?
By the way, Connor, if you ever let's say you were in a store buying, I imagine, polo shirts in the big and tall section, and then you turn around and another one of you is standing there, and his name is Blonner, and he's not even look even a speck different than you. Do you look at them and instantly think, "Am I not Connor?" Because that's the only kind of confusion Bella Thorne could have possibly been fixing here. She walks up and says, "You're Emma, you're Savannah," but it's like, I know my name.
But yeah, no, they both know who they are. They were just like, "We look just alike."
I was just surprised.
Right. Zendaya's having the issue, not the two characters.
Yeah.
But I'd imagine I'd look at myself, and then Blonner would turn to me and go, "Hello, me. Meet the real me."
Yeah, and then you just do the entire song from there.
So then
and then you'd be escorted out of the big and tall section.
Yeah.
But then they're just really excited to meet each other because, like, it's a cool coincidence finding your doppelganger. That doesn't happen all the time.
Wait. Sorry, hold on. I thought, like, it sounded like they'd hung out for a bunch before going to the mall.
No. See, that's when she said.
All at the
hold on. They independently went to the mall. Emma went to the mall on her own. Savannah went to the mall on her own, and this is the first time they're meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, you didn't make that clear. I was trying to make it clear, but you were
both
rushing.
had-
You just said they go to the mall.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, they both go separately, and
Yeah.
that's where they meet at the mall.
Yeah.
But then, so they're excited to find out. They grab a pizza together, and then they're talking, and they're like, and then,
I hate all these problems that I have as a teen. And
And
then
then
it's like, I hate all these problems that I have as a rich person.
yeah, and then, but then they're just talking about it. They're just musing about it, and then once again, Bella and Zendaya show up out of the woodwork. Okay, you're thinking it. We'll just say it. Time for a switcheroo, and then they're like,
No.
what?
I refuse.
So you and Blotter are now having lunch. Okay. You each have a full extra large pizza to yourselves from Samaras. And I step out from behind a bush and I say, Connor, Blotter, I'm going to say what we're all thinking. And then you say,
No. Sorry, I lost
mean, you
the
could.
fucking joke.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, no, it's the right answer
Yeah.
because this is a stupid idea.
So then also, like, if Zendaya and Bella Thorne are, like, way away and they hear what they're talking about and know this determines the switcheroo, Pemberley, the butler, is sitting, like, right here and can, like, presumably hear just as much as Bella and Zendaya heard. So, whatever. But they think they're going to pull a fast one, so they switch clothes. They were on board with this
I
immediately.
believe Pemberley steps away to go to the bathroom and
No.
then they switch clothes?
No.
Do they go to the bathroom?
Yeah, they go to the bathroom and switch
Oh,
clothes.
okay.
They didn't just change in the food
Well, yeah,
court.
of course, yeah.
So, but no,
I guess
he's...
that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. So then they switch back, and then he goes...
They switch.
They switch, and then they go to their respective homes. And life, first, because it's only half an hour, they really, most of the time with switcheroo things, it's usually, and maybe I'm wrong, but in my experience, it's always been, wow, first this is great, but then you realize, man, this isn't all it's cracked up to be. But it's like immediately like that.
Yeah,
for them.
immediately they step into each other's shoes and go, ugh, I hate these shoes! Like, they don't even get to enjoy it a little bit for a while. Like,
because, like, for the rich girl, she goes home, and
discovers she has to do things.
yeah, basically. Because, like, Pemberley, her whole life has always opened the door for her. So she's just standing there. And her brother got home, like, way after her. So she's just been standing there for however long. And then he's like, what are you doing? And she's like, waiting for you to get the door for me.
Now, you might be saying, this is insane. And to that I say, remember, rich people live in a totally different world. And
Yeah.
this is a real difficulty that they have to live with. What if no
Yeah.
one's there to get the door for them?
Like, wow.
Oh, no.
Oh my god.
I feel so bad for them. Oh, poor little rich girl.
What? Okay.
So then at dinner, the dad makes a roast, and like the boys and the dad, they all grab chicken, and there's tons of chicken left, but she's just like, oh, I didn't get any. But like, there's 2 big pieces left.
There's plenty for her to take, but she has not taken any, and now she's sad she didn't get any.
So,
I guess I feel kind of slighted. I would have thought this movie would have not had the most ridiculously stupid, like, tropes and cliches of, like, I don't know, rich girl issues.
Yeah, Prince of the Pauper
What?
thing. Yeah.
But then it's not so great for the pauper side of this story because Savannah, first she thinks it's weird that the door has to be opened for her, but she's like, oh, right, of course you do that. chum. And then she has to get fitted for dinner, and she's like, man, these dresses sure are stuffy. And then she has to take a fencing class and ballet lessons. When does it end?
Oh, no. I have parents who pay for all this luxury for me. Oh!
Well, I mean, I wouldn't want to just be like, it's time for your fencing lesson. I'd be like, I don't know jack about fencing. This is the problem with taking someone else's identity.
So when I suggest, that's one of the problems with taking someone else's identity. When I come up to you and Blonner and I suggest that you switch places, and then Blonner, being very similar to you, mentions these things, at that point you say, actually no, right?
Right.
Because you weren't cool to switch places with Blonner, and then he says, oh, by the way, I have ballet and fencing, and you have to be fitted for dinner, and also my parents don't love me.
And I'll be like, yeah, that's going to be real awkward. For me, I'd rather just do, my life.
Yeah, thanks. And I'll be like, aw, and then I leave, and then Blonner goes in as a millionaire.
It's not that Blonner wanted to do it. It was that this third party who showed up said that me and Blonner should do that.
Right, yeah. That's why I'm sad.
Right.
You and Blonner are fine.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So they have a phone call, and they're like...
Savannah and Emma. And they're like, I want my life back.
Oh my gosh, me too. Being you sucks.
Yeah.
And so the plan is to do a switcheroo, but...
Oh, by the way, they also mentioned their love lives during their little pizza conversation. Savannah's like, I've got this crush on Jake, but I don't know if he knows me. And she's like, oh, I'm dating this guy named whatever, and he's so self-absorbed, I hate that guy.
Yeah, that's the other thing. So, she didn't really mention Lance at all.
Oh, okay, good.
He was a surprise. Yeah, because...
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't even know who he is until later. But the other thing is...
Well, anyway.
Okay, so they're doing one of the good things, I guess. At some point, Emma, as Savannah, bumps into Jake and has a conversation and asks him out on a date. And then they're making the plan to switch back. And then Savannah is like, now, okay. Then Emma's like, let's just stay each other one more day. I'm going on a date with Jake to this place. You can watch. And then you'll see how easy it can, like, how to have a relationship with him moving forward. And then Savannah's like, that sounds like a great plan.
Whoa.
But if you remember, the title of this movie is Frenemies.
What? Okay. One thing to be like, hey, I did what you couldn't do and I got you a date with this guy. It's another thing to be like, hey, watch from the shadows as I have this great date with the guy you want to go out with.
Not only did I, at first I consensually took your life. Now I'm going to consensually, or non-consensually, take your potential love interest. I mean, she's cucking her.
I didn't want to say it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Samantha's getting cucked.
Well, yeah, no. So at one point...
Congrats, I guess.
Yeah, no, at one point they're talking, and Jake... I forget actually who initiates this, but some hand-holding across the dinner table commences. This is such a nice restaurant, by the way. I don't know how Jake was able to swing it, but molecular astrophysics, I guess.
Yeah.
So, anyway, but then Savannah sees their hands have not even, made... It's not even, a full squeeze. It's literally, three fingers on top of three fingers, oh, you said something and I engage with what you're saying. That kind of hand touch.
Okay.
So then Savannah gets jealous and throws a hot towel at Emma's head.
From how far away?
I don't know. What would you say, if I threw it from, around in our bedroom?
I mean, that's, maybe 15 feet.
Well,
certainly close enough for another human being to see her.
Well, she did it, and then she ducked back behind the booth really quick, and then Jake was like, whoa, who threw that towel at your head?
Your doppelganger threw that towel at you.
This restaurant's haunted by ghosts.
That looked like you!
But then she said, I'm gonna go have a word with that busboy. And then she's like, what are you doing? This was like what we agreed to. Not for you to touch Jake's hand, you harlot.
And now they're enemies.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, like, so then she was like, it went from 0 to 60 so quick, it was so contrived, because now all of a sudden, Emma is like, well, I'm just doing what you never had the guts to do. And then it's like, well, I still have a boyfriend, Lance, remember? And it's like, what?
These are not situations that would happen to anyone. What?
Yeah. Also, like, even if you fully accept the swapping lives thing, even then this doesn't make any sense.
No.
Also, we met Lance briefly here, and I think we see him again a little bit later. He's so self-absorbed. He's always looking in the mirror at himself. It's like literally like cartoonishly self-absorbed. Like, she's like, I'm breaking up with you. Later she breaks up with him. I'm breaking up with you because you found someone you really love. You. And then he goes, no. And then he turns and he's like, he sees his reflection. He's like, wow, I look good. Like, it's like that kind of cartoonish self-involvement.
So then,
very lazy writing.
Yeah, because he's only in the movie for like a minute or two, it sounds like.
That's true. That's true.
So then,
he has to make a really fast, really strong impression.
Yeah.
So now Jake is dating Emma, but he thinks he's dating Savannah, and vice versa with the other guy. But now it's Emma's Sweet 16 ball, but Savannah is still Emma, so she's getting the other girl's birthday.
Yeah, and like the family is like, okay, we'll bring out all the old rich people and we'll watch some kind of classic film or something, and like all of your friends you hate will be there. It's like, oh, can we make this a little bit stuffier, please? And so she says, but Mama, can't we just have a taco truck? And then the father's like, a taco truck? What is a taco? Because apparently rich people don't know what tacos are. I guess they've never heard of Mexico.
How long have they been each other by this point? You'd think Emma would be like, actually, no, my birthday is tomorrow. I don't want to do this now.
Yeah, there's so many things she does not tell Savannah.
Yeah,
okay.
No, it's weird. I would say maybe it's been
you think my life's hard, or you think your life's hard. Imagine living my life without any guidance.
So then, that's one thing. I'll just include this briefly because, like, I thought it was kind of cute. Because then at one point, she talks to Pemberley, and she's like, "So I have to tell you something. I'm not Emma. I'm Savannah." And then he's like, "Oh, really?" Like, he makes it very clear that he's known the whole time because sometimes she just speaks with an American accent.
And two, she doesn't know what she's doing at all anymore.
She literally asked him who her boyfriend is.
And also, like, he's not blind.
Yeah.
Or stupid.
Yeah. The other thing, too, though, is she's like, okay, and you won't tell anyone? And he's like, yeah, you wouldn't believe the secrets I keep in this house. That's why I get such a good Christmas bonus. And I'm like, what secrets are you?
Are there affairs?
Yeah, like,
murders? What's happening?
Yeah, exploitation.
Yeah.
Like, and one thing, I feel like, had it not been such, like, a squeezed down movie, I think, like, a better version of this story would have included a bit where Savannah was talking to Emma, like, by the way, you should really, like, look into, like, your family a little bit. I think there's, like, some serious skeletons.
I don't think that would have improved the movie.
I thought it would have been a funny callback.
Yeah, you know, this plot feels like the plot for a separate whole Disney Channel original movie
different movie
that they had to work into 30 minutes.
I mean, the thing is, like, this feels like a plot for a different movie. A basic Prince of the Pauper story, but, like, Disney Channel-ified. Mm-hmm. But then, like, the first plot was the most interesting, I would say. And the second plot doesn't really hook into that first or this third plot at all.
No.
So, like, really, the first plot and the third plot are the only ones that are sort of linked.
Because
Savannah and Jake, these stories are happening simultaneously.
Yeah.
Because, like, I believe Savannah we get to see Savannah meeting Murray again.
Yeah.
In the third act.
Yeah. So
because that's to indicate that they're happening at the same time. But like,
yeah, I definitely think if we just drop the fashion blog nonsense,
drop the star power of the movie.
And then just had it, like, interweave, like, meanwhile this is going on kind of a thing. I think that could have been just, like, a fun, silly little movie. And not make it about frenemies, because it really wasn't about frenemies.
Okay, so what you're saying is strip all the stuff that comes from the source book out.
Yeah.
And then replace it with good stuff. And we'll ship a Theseus this. Replace the movie, replace the title. Is it the same movie?
We still got Murray.
Whoa.
Yeah, we still got Murray. Yeah.
So okay, so now now it's the big ball and it's all stuffy
Sweet
and nobody likes it. But then this is so weird. Okay, so they just had their fight basically, and they're catty, and they're like, we're just gonna take who the other person likes now. That's what they were doing. But then Emma has a talk with Jake, and she was like, so you like the tomboyish things about me? And then he's like, yeah, I even like your guns. You're great. I'm just glad we're getting to date. And then she's like, oh, I think there's someone you need to talk to. And she goes to bring her to the real Savannah. She has an instant change of heart for no reason. I don't even know why she asked Jake that. Then Lance is being like, you look pretty good today. Actually, but not better than me. Well, maybe you look better than me. And she's like, you know what? I'm going to just break up with you.
And he says, oh, I look so good.
And
Great.
then that. But then, so Emma brings Jake to Savannah and then is trying to explain. It's time to come clean. But then Lance runs up and he's like, you just broke up with me? And then Savannah's like, oh yeah, I meant to tell you about that. And then Emma's like, oh my gosh, I've wanted to break up with him since like the 3rd grade. Thanks. And then Lance is like, wait, I'm getting dumped by 2 people now? Ugh, I'm mad at you, Jake. And he like goes to attack him. And then Jake just slowly moves out of the way for Lance to run into the chocolate fondue, because of course it's chocolate fondue. And then he just gets covered. He gets him on this opera singer that they made like one joke about, and then like I don't even know. And then everybody's like, what a spectacle, the party's ruined. And then and then they're like,
once again, let me remind you, she's not improvising the plot of this film.
And then Bella's like, hey, it's not, the party's not
here
ruined.
too, yeah, she's here.
And then they start singing, they don't sing, but this song, I don't know who, it was an opera singer and like a live, like cello player. But then this weird, like, put your hands up song comes and everybody's dancing. Then all these people from their school that I know Emma doesn't know come in through the door. Somehow know this place.
The rich people are going ham for this song. Even the dad looks to his wife and he says, we should listen to more of the pop music, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, these parents are so cartoonish. This is a line I forgot that I have to mention. When they see at some point Emma and Savannah standing next to each other, and the mom goes, darling, I didn't have twins, did I? And then
and the father responds, oh, we would have remembered that.
Oh, certainly we would have done that. And so anyway, so now there's this big dance break, because like it's Shrek or whatever. And then, on her face. And then we go outside and they're eating at a taco truck, and then the dad's like, my, these are delicious. What do you say we make every Tuesday night taco night?
Yes, indeed.
It's like, okay, but then
we really didn't need any lines from the parents. Like, every line they said was awful.
I know I'm not like really reacting, but that's just because this entire scene is killing me.
Okay, but hold on, don't die yet, because we're not done with the dance break. After the taco truck
Hold on, real quick, can I just say, don't die yet, we're not done with the dance break. Needs to be on Connor's tombstone.
Yeah.
Don't die yet, we're not done with the dance break.
So we had a little taco scene episode, everybody's happy, and then it's back to being a choreographed stage thing. But here's the weirdest thing that I noticed. Julianne from the first story, she shows up in the dance break, and by the end of the song, she's in, like, the middle. Like, the two, Savannah and Emma are, like, off to the side, and then it's Julianne with Bella and Zendaya on the opposite sides of her. And I'm like, was this Julianne?
Was it literally just like, hey, grand finale, everyone get in here?
But I guess.
But we didn't get the two friends of Jake's or the mom or Murray.
I do want to say real quick, Stephanie Scott plays Julianne, and in the trailer for this movie, they specifically give her third billing, and she has done some stuff. I think she's probably done. Well, I don't know. Maybe the guy who played Jake has done more stuff than her. But around that time, I think they were thinking they were really launching the careers of 3 people. And then only 2 of them actually really exploded the way they did.
Yeah.
Stephanie Scott is still doing things. Not to say she isn't
but yeah,
successful.
So that
I think she's more doing music now.
Right.
So that was Frenemies.
Yeah, that's where the movie ends, by the way. The movie's over.
It was literally like a big ending song and dance.
Uh-huh.
What?
And see, like, you see why I think this movie was originally meant to be one thing with 3, like, interwoven stories. Maybe the camera would have followed one story, and then when the characters cross paths, it would have jumped to the other story or something. But, like, they didn't do that. Instead, and I think they wouldn't even be able to do that, really, given the second story takes them to New York twice.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to cross paths with any of the other characters in New York.
Yeah.
So, like, during that section, we just have to listen to their boring business meeting.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. I have a couple questions for you. One, do you think that sounded like a fun film?
It sounded like there were really weird moments that made no sense. Mm-hmm. So if that's your thing, then yeah, you could find fun.
Okay.
But if you like, coherency, then no.
Okay. The three plots, which one sounded the most interesting and which one sounded the least interesting?
I'm most interested by seeing this wonder dog actor, Murray, so I guess the first one. And I guess the second one, the fashion blog one, seemed least interesting.
I mean, we did wrap up the description of it in about 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's true.
The first one took us about 50 minutes, and then there's really so little to say about Zendaya Bella Thorne plot, which makes it so weird that they weren't... Like, what if they had swapped Bella Thorne's character with Savannah, right? They could have given her more to do on screen. Zendaya could have been interesting in some way. I'm asking them to make a different movie.
Yeah. And then the entire, I guess, plot of the third thing did not really, work into Savannah showing up in Jake's story at all. It was completely unrelated, it sounds like.
Yeah. I mean, she exists and Jake exists, and that is the hook of the two connecting together, but like their plots don't actually align in any way.
Yeah, meanwhile, Samantha has this entirely different adventure of like trading places with her identical rich, twin from another mother. Sister from another mother. It doesn't work as well as brother from another mother, but yeah.
Well, there you go. The movie is incoherent nonsense.
Yeah.
And I'm genuinely surprised that it didn't make more of a hitch in each of their careers. Right?
Yeah.
Because, I don't know. It doesn't take much to actually kill the momentum of someone's career. If you make the right misstep, you can kill anyone's career. And this movie was a real misstep for everyone involved.
I mean, it was just the beginning for most of these people. So, like, they only had...
Down to go.
No, they all went up.
Yeah, I mean, how much do you expect out of a Disney Channel original movie?
I mean, for Disney stars, that's their lifeblood. Like, that's their career. When you're a Disney star, they make you sign a contract to only do movies with them.
That's true. So,
like, Zendaya, if she bombs in this movie, she's got 2 more movies on her contract to make up for it. But if audiences had been over her at that point, then it would have been over. I think, didn't they have a TV show at the same time? So that definitely sustains them, right?
Yeah.
Like, even if the movie's bad, the TV show can keep them around.
I mean, I'm pretty sure, like, just because of how Disney Channel usually works, I'm pretty sure when Frenemies aired, Shake It Up, a new episode was either before or after it.
Right.
So, like, I'm sure it was fine. But that was Frenemies. I'm glad that we got to sit here and chat about it. I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off of me.
Yeah, this was honestly mostly for her. Just, she wouldn't stop talking about it when I was trying to do things, work, sleep. She would shake me awake and say, "But why? Why did he break up with his dog? Why did he break up with his dog?
True, yeah.
Why did the mom stop the dog?
Okay.
Why did they make it a frame story?" And I'm like, go to sleep.
And thank you guys for listening. And remember to comment, like, and subscribe because we always